Welcome everybody. I am so excited to be here today. We are making faux donuts. This has been a heavily requested video for me to do. I was making them back at Christmas time while we were doing our faux food class, and they really wanted to get to learn how to make these, but we just did not have the time. So we're gonna do them now for Valentine's Day. I love working with this Model Magic from Crayola. It is perfect, it's lightweight, and it holds paint color really well. I get it in a big bucket, Canadian, it's like 25 bucks, and it goes so far. You get 4 packages in it, and this barely put a dent in that bin. So right now I'm working it through, massaging it, getting it nice and soft, and rounded into balls that I will then be shaping into donuts. So I did make 3 donuts here. However, I only wound up finishing one of them because I got inspired to try and do something a little bit different that you'll see later on this week. So once you have your balls formed and in the accurate shape, if you're making multiple, you want to kind of size them out to be about the same. Then you're going to take your Model Magic balls and you're going to gently push your thumb into the ball, which you'll see here me doing momentarily. While I'm doing that, I'm also spinning them just so that way they still hold their shape, that the hole in the middle is kind of centered and ready to go. So you can see me poking my thumb in there. Fingernails help, but it really doesn't make much of a difference. As long as you're being gentle not to just rip it in two, you'll be fine. You can see I'm spinning it around, that's holding its shape. Donuts usually are a little bit lumpy, so it's not too big of a deal if it's not a perfectly smooth surface. On top of that, when it goes to dry, sometimes you get like a little bit of a sticky flatness on the bottom. Totally all right as well, because when we go to decorate this, we'll just do the icing side and the decorations on that side. Right now I'm rolling it to get kind of a flatter edge on the outside where it would have raised up, and just getting it finished into the shape that I want it to be in. So I'm just gonna speed up a little bit while we do the other donuts. Once you've got your donut shaped and formed in the size and dimensions that you'd like, you're gonna go ahead and put a little hole in the bottom. This can be done either before or after it's drying, but if you're adding glue, make sure it's dry first. It does take, it says 72 hours. I usually wait 24 before I paint and such, but it does say for full set, it'll take 72 hours for those donuts to dry. Now you are really going to get to see these donuts come to life. They're going to take on their color. I'm using a golden brown Craft Smart paint that I got at Michael's. Got it originally for gingerbread men, however it's perfect tone for donuts as well. And then when I go to do the lighter edging, it's going to be great if I just add a little bit of white paint to that. It did take me a couple of coats to get this painted to the right color that I want. And I don't know if the Model Magic just absorbs some of your paint on your first coat, or if it's that the paint was just very thin. But either way, I did decide to do it over a second coat to make sure that it is fully good and covered before I go to do the decorating. There's nothing worse than finding out afterwards that when you've put your icing on top, that you missed a little spot of brown that you wish you would have gotten the second time. So like I said, I'm gonna go over it a second time, make sure that it's perfect, that I'm happy with it, and then I'm gonna go in with the lighter edging. So what I did was I took a little bit of just plain white Craft Smart paint and I blended it in with the golden brown that I was using for the main surface, and I went around and just kind of did a dotted line with the paintbrush. And then I found to blend it, my finger actually worked the best to get it nice and blended in where it didn't look like harsh lines or polka dots. So I did notice that there was still some light tones, and it blended better when I put a little bit more of just plain golden brown over the top. But you can actually see that there is a really good tinting where if you were baking them or deep frying them, it would actually rise, and that's what that line is supposed to kind of imitate. So I'm going over it, making sure I've got a good blend, that it's not any harsh lines, that there's no fingerprints left in it from me playing with the donut as I worked. That was one thing I will say, the stick, adding it in there, even if you're not going to keep the stick in there, it did help with the painting to be able to move it around without getting fingerprints all over it. Now I'm just drying up that paint, checking it over, making sure everything is perfect, because we are about to make this the best donut I have seen in a while. Once your donut is all dry, I pull out puffy paint. This is what I love to use for icing because it has a really nice shine at the end, and it also goes out and raises the icing off the donut like an actual donut with icing would do. Now, I couldn't find this light pink color that I wanted, so what I did was I actually just took a half a bottle of white puffy paint that I had left over from Christmas and just mixed in a little bit of red and pink paint to it. Shook it up really, really good. If you would have noticed, actually, when I made my cupcakes the other day, it wasn't quite blended right, but it still wound up being very cute. It just had a little bit of a red line through my icing. This is much better shaken, and it is the perfect pink tone. So I didn't want to waste too much of my puffy paint, so what I did was I kind of just squirted it all over, and I'm using this silicone tool that I got from Chalk Couture to just kind of fill in all the little holes. And then comes the drizzle. This is just plain white puffy paint. I like to go completely over the donut, even over the hole. It's gonna give it that realistic look, because in a bakery, they are gonna go over that hole and it's gonna drip down in. That you can see just happened, and it makes it look even more realistic. Now it is time to add in some sprinkles. I love polymer clay sprinkles. I make some myself. I've also ordered some off Etsy. You can get some really cute ones. You can get like very generic fruits and stuff on Amazon, but if you're really looking for something special, I highly recommend Etsy if you're not interested in learning how to make some yourself. At some point we are going to get into making polymer clay sprinkles on this page, but I just haven't gotten the chance to yet, as we are still new. So right now we're just gonna go with some Etsy ones that you guys will find so cute. I've got some little Mickey heads, some little hearts. I absolutely love these. So I'm just going ahead and kind of scattering them anywhere, not really putting too much thought into where they're going, but at the same time I'm making sure that they're not all close together. 3 seems to be the magic number when I'm going through different sprinkles, but I absolutely love these and they are perfect. This is where you're going to differentiate from Valentines to other seasons. It's your color of icing and it's the sprinkles that you're choosing. These ones here are little lollipop hearts. I find them so cute. I got those on Etsy. Along with these Mickey heads and the hearts. But like I said, I've made some for myself in previous groups and such, but these ones here were just too cute to pass up on. Now I'm just adding in some caviar dots. They are also polymer clay or resin made. I got these ones off of Etsy. I haven't figured out how to make the caviar beads. They're just not that easy. Now you could leave it as a plain stick. However, I decided to level this up even further by taking a paper straw decorative, of course, not one that I'm going to be using or have used, but I went to use this one and realized that's not the right color tone. I switched it out for one of these. Again, you can get these off of Amazon, Etsy, you can even make your own. I just got these ones, I think at Dollar Tree a few months back, but they are perfect. I decided to add a little bow. Guys, I am not an expert at bow making, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about it. It was a struggle. It took me probably 5 times to get the bow made. It took me a couple times to get the straw to stick to the stick, but once it did, it turned out so perfect and I absolutely love it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If there's anything more that you want to see specifically, make sure you comment it down below. Check out my bio where I have my link so you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, even Pinterest now, guys. This was so much fun and I hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.